highlighting our athletes like we did with Connor Young, unique friendships like we did with Glenn Snodgrass and Matt Kern at York, and just kind of a lot of different things that help create that high school experience and how it can lead you in the future and teach you about life. I grew up in a family where my dad was a coach. I often joke with people I'm probably the only kid who never watched the Dukes of Hazzard on Friday night because I was always at a football game. And football and sports and being on a team in high school taught me so much, and we want to be able to share that experience with our viewers and with people who read the site and all of those things. So,
couldn't have said it much better, Tony. And just an extension of that, we want to continue to provide just coverage of our schools, and we feel the Sports Avenue is a great platform for that, and Tony coming alongside with us is great. A couple quick things here. Just want to give a shout out to JC, our producer, who is putting all this together. It's been a lot of work and prep putting in this show, so appreciate his hard work. And also, quick little contest. We do want to engage in social media during the show. We want you guys to help us create the show into what it's going to be. We don't know yet. And so we want you to tweet at us at Striv Sports. First person to do that will actually win a Striv t-shirt, and we'll send it your way with some Striv sunglasses as well. So again, anytime during the show, tweet at us at Striv Sports or use the hashtag Striv Sports if you'd like as well. We'd love you to ask some questions if you'd like, any comments, and of course lots of feedback on how we can make this show better and continue to improve and promote what's going on at all of the schools that are involved with Striv. So, well, Tony, let's jump right into last week, and you can see the photos behind me. Our game of the week, our first ever game of the week, we went to Aurora for the Aurora Crete football game in a week 1 matchup that was pretty exciting, and I'll let you kind of talk about the game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, how do we do? I mean, how do you top that for an encore? I mean, thanks to the kids from Aurora and Crete for letting us watch that football game. It was something else. I mean, it was a game you thought probably should have been played November 7th instead of in August. So I had two good quarterbacks. Obviously, Alex McGinnis at Crete has been their quarterback for 3 years. The Cardinals made it to the playoffs last year, lost a close game in the first round and finished 5-5, but most of their players back. And then Aurora, what can you say about what Randy Hubert's done? 10 years in a row, they've been in the quarterfinals at least, a couple state championships mixed in there. And, both teams just played their guts out. You can't really say it much more than that. Aurora gets down 21-7. Crete plays really well in the first half. I mean, they probably had as good a first half as they could have expected. Believe they had about 260 yards of total offense and had limited Aurora in the first half to about 75. And was 7-7. Crete went ahead 14-7 early in the second quarter and then recovered a pooch kick and scored right away after that pooch kick for a 21-7 halftime lead. And then Jake Kittle just ran the show in the second half for Aurora playing quarterback. He finished 18 for 31, passing 271 yards. Crete was really just doing a lot of pressure blitzes, and Aurora really went to the passing game to try to slow them down. They got it to 21-15 in the third quarter, and then tied it at 21. Early in the fourth quarter, Jake Kittle hit Riley Larson on a 14-yard touchdown pass, and then Aurora actually took the lead 29-21 with about 6.5 minutes left in the game. Jake Kittle had a 10-yard run, and then they hit the 2-point conversion to go up 29-21, and then Crete, really, who hadn't shown any life at all in the second half, came back and kind of really just marched down the field. Coach McGinnis kind of rolled the dice a little bit with Jose Marquez playing tailback. He kind of said he had fresh legs and they were cramping up, and Jose comes in, and his third carry of the game is a 24-yard touchdown run with about a minute and a half left to get it to 29-27. They complete a pass to tie it on the 2-point conversion. And then in overtime, Marquez scores again on basically the same play to the other sideline on a pitch play from 10 yards on second down. And Aurora, on fourth down, Kittle completes a pass to Austin Allen kind of in the back left corner of the end zone, but he was on the pylon and ruled out of bounds. And it's a game. It comes down to the last play. And I expect both those teams to win a lot of football games. And it was just a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to be there on the sidelines, grabbing some pictures, and obviously we had a ton of people tune in for that game, and appreciate all those that were unable to attend to watch that game. And it was a great way to kick off our first game of the week, and we're excited for this week's game of the week, which will be coming up later in the show. But let's go ahead and again, just want to plug, tag us at Striv Sports on Twitter. You'll win a free Striv t-shirt. And again, ask any questions. We'd love to hear from you. And quick shout out, wearing a High Plains Community Schools here t-shirt, their TV shirt that they gave me last year. I'm going to try to wear a school t-shirt every week. And so if you send me your school shirt, I will send you a Striv shirt, is kind of going to be the deal there. So going to have some fun with what I'm wearing on the show each week. So hope everyone from High Plains tweeted at you that you guys are watching this live or recording. So let's jump into volleyball. We haven't talked a whole lot about volleyball, Tony. As we admitted, we are not experts in the game of volleyball, and we probably should get someone on the show. We need to find someone in the state of Nebraska. If you want to be on our show, talk about volleyball, high school volleyball, we'd love to hear from you and to have you jump in on the Google Hangout. But we've got a ton of games tomorrow night that you can watch live on Striv. And I think JC is pulling those up right now on our striv.tv upcoming events page. And just a quick run through, we've got Osceola Twin River, Silver Lake at Meridian, Fort Calhoun's going to be at Syracuse. We've got a big tournament up at Nebraska Christian. We've got the Exeter Milligan, the Hawks are going in there. Riverside Chargers, that's the new school with Cedar Rapids and Spalding, consolidated to become the Riverside Chargers. They're a Striv school. They're going to be at Fullerton. Tri-County is going to travel over to Thayer Central and play the Titans. They're under new coach Mary Hageman, who I went to college with at Thayer Central, so look forward to seeing them play. And then keep coming down. Some of those schools we need to take off there. Southern Valley hosts Cozad, another Striv school. And then Cross County hosts Shelby Rising City. And a big one, Aurora Huskies will head into York to play the Dukes. So that'll be a fun game to watch. And most of those start at 7:30 unless they're a triangular. And we will get those times updated. Some of them say to TBD, so we'll get those updated and clean that up a little bit. But you can always find the latest events. We keep that up to date, very accurate on kind of what you can watch that evening. So anything you want to add on that, Tony?
Yeah, I'd just quickly give a shout out to the triangular that's in that Exeter Milligan is hosting tomorrow. Should just be dynamite. I mean, you get three teams there. Bruning Davenport Shickley was 30-4 last year, and state runner-up in Class D1. Exeter Milligan is 21-9. And a shout out to my alma mater, the Hampton Hawks. I know they're really looking forward to the volleyball season this year. Finished 18-12 last year. Started a lot of freshmen. They'll have three sophomores that kind of will be their go-to players this year. And Coach Torzen, I know she was there when I was in school. She knows what she's doing. In fact, three coaches that are really good in Darcy Wyatt at Exeter Milligan, and of course Dan Sorge at Bruning Davenport Shickley. Yep. He's been doing it for a long time. But yeah, Hampton, those three sophomores I was mentioned, Madison Vanhausen, Tristan Mason, and Jamie Traster. I know Coach Torzen is excited about the year, and I think you've got three teams there that they really could all possibly make the state tournament this year. So that should be fun to start the season now. So.
Yeah, so we'll have some more stuff coming up on Striv Sports on volleyball, and I just got a tweet from Kevin Stein, Coach Stein, about someone we should have on the show. So we'll get her on as well, talk about some high school volleyball. So Let's move on and talk about rankings. A bunch of rankings came out, Tony, this week and last week. You want to start with football, volleyball, softball? Let you kind of run through that and kind of highlight some of the Striv schools that are in there.
Sure. Football, obviously, we're really early. I kind of take the ratings here from the Omaha World Herald and in Stoup Hospital, but obviously both of our Class A teams are ranked. Omaha Central is 1-0. They beat Lincoln North Star last week, 28-18 on Thursday. Millard West unfortunately lost last week, 20-13, but they lost to Omaha North. Great football game. Defending state champs Omaha North. They scored with, I believe there was under 2 minutes left in that game when the winning touchdown went across. So Millard West is 0-1, and Taylor, I believe, check me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking they play number 3 Millard North this week.
Correct.
Again, yeah. So a really tough start for Millard West, but they're probably a team that come November they'll still be hanging around. And then going down to Class B, obviously McCook preseason number 3, they shut out Alliance last week. Of course, Crete is now 4th. Aurora, despite the loss, is still 7th. And then really fun times in Class C1 for us. Boone Central, Newman Grove defeated Columbus Scotus, who was preseason ranked 31-14. They're the number 1 team in Class C1. Cozad is 3rd. Syracuse, who had to lose probably about the craziest game you'd ever hear about, is 6th at 0-1. So they played Wahoo Newman, who was 5th, and lost 30-29. They will actually play number 2 Ashland Greenwood this week, and then Wilbur Claytonia is 10th. And then in C2. I'm trying to look. Do we have any schools?
No.
We do not. It doesn't look like it. So that's kind of a quick rundown there. Let me get to
the Journal,
softball.
And the Journal Star, if you want to talk about they do have D1, D2. Journal Star's got Heartland rated number 3. They're going to play McCool Junction on Friday. Creighton, number 5, BDS, big game, and we'll talk about that against Blue Hill. They're ranked number 7, and High Plains coming in at number 9 preseason. Most of those schools, except for BDS, haven't played a game yet. Maybe Creighton did. And then Exeter Milligan and D2, they're number 3. They did win their game last week on week 1. So
They beat Kennesaw, yeah. Yeah, and softball in the rankings will come out tomorrow, but Millard West is 4th in Class A, and then in Class B, York, Grand Island Northwest are 6 and 7 respectively, and then Crete, who was unranked to start the year, had a 5-0 first weekend, and they were ranked 10th. And then I think that's it for softball rankings, and we'll probably get dedicate a little more time to volleyball next week. Preseason rankings and first games obviously start tomorrow, so that's kind of where we stand with those.
Perfect. So. Again, before we move on to the next segment, talking about some upcoming games on Friday in the football arena. Again, tweet at us at Striv Sports. Ask any questions you want us to talk about. Touch on any topics you want to hear about going on in NEB Prep's world, and provide some feedback. What do you think of the show? And we'd love to hear from you. So, again, at Striv Sports for that. Tony, let's talk about this week. We've got a couple games we want to highlight that are actually going to be live streamed on Striv this week. And I'll let you take this and kind of preview those games a little bit.
Sure. You mentioned High Plains. We'll start off with them. High Plains, obviously, they'll play Guardian Angels Central Catholic out of West Point. This should be a really good football game. I know our friend Bobby Mills is going over to watch this one. So I know you mentioned High Plains is ranked by the Lincoln Journal-Star, just out of the rankings in the World Herald. They had a very successful year last year. I don't think they want me to probably come to any of their games. They were 8-2 last year. I covered the 2 games they lost for the Grand Island Independent, Howells Dodge, and then I covered their playoff game with Exeter Milligan, who obviously went on to win the whole shooting match in D1. So High Plains ranked by the Journal-Star, not ranked in the World Herald, will face Guardian Angels. I was talking to Cameron Hudson on Friday at the Aurora game. He told me that West Point CC, they have 48 guys out for 8-man football, which I bet Kevin Stein wishes he had 48 guys out at Grand Island Northwest. So he's probably right there, maybe in that 48 to 60 neighborhood. So they'll be playing 2 more years at 8-man, and then it looks like they'll go back up to C2, and they've had a really good run here recently in 8-man, and my high school football coach, actually, Mike Bailey, is one of their assistants. So that should be a really fun game. Creed and Seward, we think that'll be a really good football game. Creed, obviously, we saw them last week. Seward jumped all over Waverly, beat them 49-0. Of course, they had the lineman Holtorf, who's going to Kansas State, and Seward looks to be much improved this year. So it'll be interesting to see where those two teams go from week 1 to week 2, both 1-0. And then Syracuse, man, I tell you again, Wahoo Newman to start the year, and now they'll face number 2 Ashland Greenwood, who in Class C1 lost to Cozad last year in the state finals. Have a good nucleus of players back. They go back to that Syracuse game from last week. Wahoo Newman, with 14 seconds left, missed a field goal that would have won the game, but the play that Syracuse had 12 men on the field, it was second down, and then Wahoo Newman snapped it again on second down, fumbled the snap. The holder was smart enough to throw the ball out of bounds, and then on third down they got a third chance to kick the field goal to win the game, and they made the field goal on third down to win 30-29. So Syracuse will have to bounce back and play a really, really good Ashland Greenwood team. And then one that's really got me intrigued is Bruning Davenport Shickley and Blue Hill. Is kind of doing some research. Both of these teams are ranked in the World Herald. Give you an idea of the tradition of the two schools, both of these schools have won a playoff game every year since 2004. Not just been in the playoffs, but won a playoff game every year since 2004, with the exception of BDS, who made the playoffs in 2009 but didn't win a game. So Blue Hill has been playing C2 football, and this will be their first year in 8-man, and they have 5 3-year starters back. Running back Keithan Drury is a good one, a 1,200-yard rusher from last year, and their quarterback Jason Poe threw for over 1,000 yards. So it'll be interesting to see how they transition down from 11-man to 8-man. And then Bruning Davenport Shickley, always good when your quarterback comes back. Grant Norder, big kid, 200-pound quarterback, and he'll be back. And Bruning Davenport Shickley, they'll play Blue Hill to start, and then they'll play Giltner in week 2, and I believe they've also got High Plains in the first 4 weeks, so they'll get tested right out of the chute. So those are some games we'll be watching. We'll be watching here in week 1, I guess, as they call it. Last week was week 0. So
yeah, that's what I thought. That's what they did last year, Tony. I noticed though on NSA now they do call last week week 1, and this is week 2 technically. I guess I've seen it both ways. I don't know. It's the second week, right?
Exactly. That's what we say. Week 2 for me.
Cool. Thanks, Tony. We look forward to that each week, just kind of previewing some games that are going to be live streamed again on Striv. It's fun to get some other schools that aren't on Striv to be able to be on there. And so look forward to tuning into those games. This next segment we're excited about, we're going to highlight a Striv athlete each week, try to at least. And this gentleman tweeted to us his Huddle highlight clip from the week. And this guy, I'll let Tony introduce, but for those of you in future weeks, if you'd like to be nominated for the Striv Star of the Week, shoot us over your Huddle clip or highlight clip of the game you want to promote, and tweet us at Striv Sports to get us that, and we will showcase you as our Striv Athlete Star of the Week. And I'll let Tony introduce that, and we're going to start rolling his highlight clip as Tony talks about him.
Well, yeah, was Wyatt Mazour any good last week for Boone Central? They play Columbus Scotus, who was ranked preseason 8th, and Boone Central gets a 31-14 win on that shiny field turf. You'll see in the highlights. I mean, that place looks great up in Albion. But Wyatt goes for, I believe, 416 total yards. I think 170-ish passing and about 240-some passing and 171 rushing, 4 total touchdowns in 2 rushing, 2 passing, and was big in the return game as well. And Boone Central's clicking on all cylinders early, and of course they got beat by Cozad in the semifinals last year, and I think that's probably weighing on their mind. But Boone Central, Wyatt Mazour, 416 yards to start the year. I think that's a pretty good day at the office. So,
absolutely, and we thank Wyatt. What's his Twitter handle, Tony? You remember it off?
I believe W Mazour 20. I believe.
So give him a follow. Outstanding athlete. We're excited to have Boone Central on board on Striv this year. We're going to set them up. I'm going to go up there and set them up tomorrow. So look forward to watching them on Striv. All right, we're going to take a quick break. 30 seconds. Get ready to announce our game of the week this week and our special guest, Coach Stein. So we will be right back in about 30 seconds. Don't go away.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Okay, we're back here. Thanks again. I want to give a thanks to Cornerstone Bank, our Striv Sports sponsor, for allowing us to do the show and to run the site. And we would like to, I'll let Tony announce the game of the week this week and our guest here that's coming in from Grand Island Northwest.
Yeah, so our game of the week this week will be in Grand Island. It'll be Grand Island Northwest and McCook. Both teams 1-0. McCook obviously is number 3 in the Class B rankings, and we're joined by Grand Island Northwest football coach Kevin Stein right now, who the Vikings got off to a fast start last week, beating Addisons Central 34-7. So, Coach, give us just a little rundown on the game. You got off to a fast start, and I guess talk about how the guys played first game out.
Yeah, we started out pretty well. We got the ball. We were able to go right down the field. 13 plays, end up scoring. We get a 3-and-out, and then went right down the field again and scored again. We got another 3-and-out. Went down the field, and we actually got stopped down inside the 5. So things were going really well there, and then. We went for it once on about 4th down and didn't get it in midfield, and then Addisons Central was able to take it back down to the field, and about the 5-yard line, we stripped the ball out from their fullback, and Dakota Rader went 95 yards for a touchdown. So that was big. It goes from a 14-7 game to a 21-0 game, and feeling pretty confident about things. And the second half, Addisons Central made a nice little run, and the one play they scored on, we just kid made a nice scramble play. We got a lot of pressure on. We scrambled one of those broken plays. They get a slot receiver down behind us, wide open, and get a score. So that kind of bothers you a little bit. But overall, I thought we played with good passion. We came out fairly injury free. We didn't have our top running back in Ty Johnson. He was kind of needed him type basis, so hopefully we can have him kind of fresh and ready to go for this week.
You talk about getting all the phases to work together early. You guys had that. It seemed like you score on offense. It looked like you had maybe a special teams kind of set up a short field for you on one of their punts, I believe I read, and then obviously to have a defensive touchdown.
We didn't really do anything with that. They snapped it over their head, and we're just there to fall on it.
But it makes the game a little bit easier, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Talk quickly about I know you had 2 guys playing, kind of going at it, playing quarterback in preseason camp, and Christian Ellsworth, who played quarterback for you last year, and then Brooke Brown, who you wanted to try to figure out a way to get him on the field. I know sometimes when you have a situation like that and you have 2 guys that accept their role, it can really bring your team together. Talk about those 2 guys and how they've. I know Christian played the majority snaps at quarterback for you, but just talk about how those 2 guys have done leading so far early for you.
Last year we went into it with the true open mind and gave them both a chance to win the job. We as a coaching staff felt that we didn't want to go with 2 young quarterbacks. Hindsight, big mistake. It was a good thing because it gave Christian a lot of reps. We were like, this is the guy. We picked our pony. We're going to go with and that was good. But then, it also doesn't give Christian a real out. There's times where things aren't going well, and maybe just having a fresh hand or something, try something different. We kind of backed ourselves into a corner with it. And in hindsight, I wish we would have gave Christian a little bit, pulled him out a few times to let him kind of clear his head and let Brooke kind of go and see what he could do. Because when he went in, he did a nice job. So this year we said, hey, they're both one of our top, 10, 11 athletes. So we got to get them on the field. And they both do things. They're similar players, but they're so drastically different. Brooke runs a little bit better. Maybe has a stronger arm, to where Christian maybe is more accurate and runs a little bit more like a fullback. So we got to have ways to get them both on the field. We played Brooke a little bit in the backfield. We played him in some empty formations at quarterback. He played a little slot receiver for us, but then also he takes every snap at a free safety for us. So they are we got to get them on the field, and that's what is the best for us.
Talk about the defensive efforts you got on Friday night, and I know you held Adams Central. I believe it was less than 50 yards rushing, and I think even though you guys are a spread team, I think you probably would agree that controlling that line of scrimmage and making them one-dimensional makes it a lot easier for your defense. Talk about the effort you got on that side of the ball on Friday.
Yeah, even though Bill Carlin was not on their sidelines, they're still Adams Central. They know how to line up and pound the ball, and
right.
We knew we had to stop that. We knew that their quarterback was a good athlete, but we had to force him to beat us, and we did that. And for the most part, we handled the pass game pretty well. There's a few times where us just starting we only have one linebacker that really, in Isaiah Dawes, that has a good amount of experience. He started for us last year, and Taylor Willis started at a safety for us, and now we have him at a corner, but everybody else is fresh. Like I said, Brooke Brown, he's always a linebacker. Now he's our free safety. Ryan Gill and Ty Johnson kind of been splitting time at that strong safety, but Ryan had to go, so he was a new guy. And so there's things like that they caught us in a couple situations. But overall, I thought we handled it pretty well. But stopping the run game, like you said, was key number one.
Okay. All right. Addison, my daughter, the birthday girl, your favorite student from Bible school. Yeah, Addison is 10 today, so I told her she could ask you the last question, and it'll be the toughest one, okay?
And Tony, have her get into the shot here.
Can you see her? There she is. Can you read in the question,
ready?
Addison?
What are the keys to beating McCook on Friday?
Man, that is a tough question, Addie. Can't we have something a little bit simpler? Because that's a tough question. McCook is special. They're deep. They are they come at you just in waves, and they have I want to say 27, 28 seniors. So that's some good experience. I think field position is a big thing because they play such tenacious defense. You got to catch some breaks and get the ball at midfield or in midfield. And when you're in the shadow of your own goalposts, and you have to go 70, 80, 90 yards against their defense, that's tough because they're so fast. So I think some keys is definitely field position, getting yourself in a chance, and then also making them have to work for it. Anytime not giving the ball on our half of the field. Special teams will be a big thing. They have the Lions kid who is just an awesome kicker. So getting them pinned back there and just making them go a long distance. And then probably the third thing that I would say is we have to be able to run the ball. We are a spread team. We are going to throw it. People know that. We have faith that we're going to be able to throw the ball really versus anything. So the key needs to be we have to run the ball. They're going to put 5 in the box, and we have to run the ball. So I'd say field position, special teams, and then we have to be able to run the ball.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you get game planning again, and we'll see you on the sideline Friday night. So thanks for joining us, our first show. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Coach. And
happy birthday, Addie.
Coach, I wanted to mention, too, you're the only one to tweet at us, so I owe you a Striv shirt. I'll bring it to the game on Friday.
I was gonna tweet you and ask you what size you were, because I'm going to send you a Northwest shirt.
Okay, that sounds good. What size do you wear?
I thought my sister tweeted too, but that's okay.
What size do you want, Kevin?
I'm an XL.
All
How
right.
about you?
Same.
All right. Addie, what are you? I'll take care of Addie, but not Tony.
Adult small for Addison. Adult small.
Do you want to say yours on air or not?
I'm an XL too.
Okay.
Not as well. Not a 2XL. An XL also.
As well. Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys.
See ya. Well, that was fun. Thanks, Tony, for doing that interview with Coach Stein, our first guest speaker on our first ever Striv Sports live show. We're trying to think of a name. If anyone out there is watching and can think of a name, Tony, I don't know if you've thought anything.
Probably get like a polo or 2 free T-shirts or something, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, tweet at us at Striv Sports. And again, I will reveal the shirt next week. We'll reveal our game of the week next week as well. But Tony will be at the Grand Island Northwest McCook game in Grand Island. I'll be there snapping some pictures so we can put those up on the TV next week. And any last thoughts, Tony?
I don't think so. We just wanted to thank everybody who's been on Striv Sports so far. We've had great response to some of the stuff we've done, and obviously, Taylor, the brand you've built over at Striv has been great. I think we only had 8 games last week, and we had 3,700 people watching football on Friday night. So we're looking forward to what the season brings, and just we hope you come along for the ride. And if you have any ideas for stories or anything, tweet us, send us a message, email us, whatever is your preferred method of communication. We're on Facebook too. So anything that you can send our way, we'd love to follow up on. So
absolutely, and again, I'll extend off that was the vision for Striv Sports, is to provide a platform for students to showcase their media, so video, blog articles, different things like that. So thanks again. A quick shout out to the Southern Valley Eagles. They're watching. Thanks for the tweet. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And we will see you guys next week. We're going to do this every Wednesday through football, volleyball, softball season, and cross country. We didn't talk about it this week, but we'll touch on all the fall sports activities going on at our Striv schools. I am Taylor Siebert, signing off. And Tony.
And I'm Chapman, as long as I know that, I think. So thanks for joining us. It was fun.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.